Thank you very much, Greg, for that introduction. As many of you know, my doctorate is in educational policy studies, social and cultural foundations of education. And simply put, that means I focused on how race, class, gender, and ability play out in terms of inequities in education. So as a child, I read markedly earlier than expected, and always at a level much higher than my age at any given time, a condition that is known as hyperlexia. And I now know it is related to my much later in life diagnosis on the autism spectrum. As a peculiar child, my friends were my books, and I developed a lifelong habit of being a voracious reader. I share this story with you because it provides important context regarding my personal passion for literacy. Literacy is fundamental to our personal growth, our communities, and our world. Literacy is more than the ability to read and write. It is the foundation of education, a gateway to opportunities, and a crucial tool for empowerment. Without literacy, individuals struggle to break free from the cycle of poverty. Societies remain uninformed, and progress slows. Today, we will hear about why literacy is so essential, how it impacts our lives, and what we can do to promote it. Literacy is based on understanding and communicating effectively. It's the basis for understanding and communicating effectively. Perhaps most importantly, at this juncture in history, literacy involves critical thinking, problem solving, and the ability to process information. There are many kinds of literacy, financial, media, and digital among them, and these help people navigate an increasingly complex society. A literate person can access knowledge, understand their rights, and contribute meaningfully to their community. Without literacy, people struggle with basic tasks, such as understanding government policies. These challenges limit personal growth and create barriers to economic and social advancement. Literacy provides economic empowerment, and it opens doors to better job opportunities, higher wages, and financial independence. On a larger scale, literacy contributes to national economic growth. Countries with high literacy rates tend to have stronger economies, lower unemployment rates, and higher levels of innovation. When people are literate, they can participate in skilled labor, start businesses, and contribute to economic development, creating a ripple effect, leading to a more competitive economy. Education and literacy go hand in hand. A literate society is an educated society, and education is the key to progress. Research has proven time and again that when children develop strong literacy skills from an early age, they have a better chance of succeeding in school and in life. Literacy helps students express their thoughts clearly. Unfortunately, access to quality education is inequitable, depending on a child's socioeconomic level, disabilities, gender, and race. For example, here in Mexico, indigenous communities have less access to education. Schools lack resources, teachers are scarce, and children are forced to drop out to help support their families. These challenges perpetuate the cycle of illiteracy and poverty. Everyone, regardless of their background, deserves the opportunity to learn, grow, and achieve their dreams. Literacy is also vital for social progress. Literate individuals are more likely to engage in their communities, participate in civic activities, and advocate for change. Literacy allows people to read the news, understand policies, and make informed decisions about their lives and their governments. An illiterate society is also a healthier society. People who can read and understand health-related information are more likely to seek medical care, follow treatment plans, and adopt healthy lifestyles. In contrast, illiteracy can lead to misinformation, poor health choices, and higher mortality rates. Literacy empowers individuals to take control of their well-being and that of their families. Moreover, it promotes gender equality. Women and girls face greater barriers to education, limiting their opportunities and independence. When those barriers are lowered, they are empowered to pursue careers, make financial decisions, and raise educated children, leading to stronger families and more stable societies. In today's society, literacy extends beyond books and paper. In the digital realm, We live in a digital age where technology plays a crucial role in our daily lives. And digital literacy, the ability to use computers, smartphones, the internet, that's essential for success in today's world. People need digital skills to access online education, to apply for jobs, to stay informed about global events. Media literacy, in an era of rampant misinformation and disinformation, people must learn to analyze and verify the information they encounter from all sources. Being able to distinguish fact from fiction helps individuals make better decisions and protects them from manipulation by those with ill intent. Financial. Understanding how to manage money, create a budget, and spend wisely can lead to financial stability and independence, preparing individuals for the demands of the modern world. Despite the importance of literacy, many challenges prevent people from acquiring these essential skills. Poverty, lack of access to education, inadequate funding for schools, and social inequalities all contribute to low literacy rates. We all have a role to play in promoting literacy. Governmental investment in education is vital, providing resources for schools and ensuring that literacy programs reach underserved communities. Teachers need training and support to effectively educate students. Communities must establish libraries, literacy centers, and mentorship programs to encourage learning. This is some of the most important work LCS has done here at Lakeside over the decades. As individuals, we can contribute by supporting literacy initiatives, donating books, volunteering as tutors, and encouraging a love of reading in our families and among our loved ones. We can each play a role as we navigate everyday life as well, creating an environment in the community that values learning and fosters curiosity. Literacy is not just a skill, it's a necessity. The foundation for education, economic prosperity, social progress, and personal empowerment. When we invest in literacy, we invest in a brighter future for individuals, communities, and nations. Each of us has the power to make a difference. Together, we can help create a world where everyone has the opportunity to learn, grow, and succeed. For this reason, as LCS celebrates its 70th anniversary, we're recommitting to Neill James's passion for fostering literacy in the interest of creating the ability for people to change their lives and ultimately to change the world. Thank you.
Thank you, James, for very appropriately setting the stage today. We'd like to move on now to the topic, a broader topic of literacy in Jalisco State. And I'd like to invite up two special invited guests who have come from Guadalajara this morning, coming to join us and talk about their direct experience with literacy in the greater Guadalajara area is Tisu Cervantes, her husband Bill. Tisu and Bill founded a school in Guadalajara in the Tlajomulco area that is currently teaching literacy, reading, writing, and math to young children. It's a volunteer groundswell that they started how many years ago? 10 years ago. Tisu came and presented in December about her program and school, and we've invited her back to put a sharper focus on the state of literacy in Jalisco the present day. So please welcome Tisu Cervantes and her partner, Bill.
Muchas gracias y buenos días. Como bien lo decía James, creo se llamaba, es muy importante la educación, pero específicamente poder leer. Y también relacionándolo con estadísticas que hemos tenido acceso tanto aquí para el lago de Chapala, para Jalisco, para Guadalajara, la zona metropolitana, etc. Es por eso que se fundó este proyecto.
Yeah, she explains that the project that she founded, Casa Tatic, is partly in response to the statistics that we can see that refer to the state of Jalisco, the municipality of Guadalajara, the area of Guadalajara, Lakeside as well, where there are many, many children, a high proportion of children, young people and adults who are not literate.
Ese es un grave problema en la situación escolar. Hay muchos, la estructura, la manera de enseñar, hay muchos, pero yo pienso que la más importante es la relación niños, el número de niños que son como 40 en una escuela pública con un adulto. Cuando ese niño va a aprender a leer, pues está en medio de muchísima gente y habrá muchos niños que lo van a lograr porque tienen las habilidades, el apoyo en la casa, tienen como cosas necesarias para lograrlo. Pero habrá otros, muchos otros, que no lo van a poder lograr.
If we think about what the causes might be for these high levels of illiteracy, one problem is obviously the school system, and the school system has many structural problems that it faces. But in her experience, the main problem is the ratio of adults to children. When one teacher has to work with a large group of 40, 50 children, it's impossible to reach all of the children. Probably most of them will succeed in learning to read because they've got enough skills in order to thrive in that environment. But there are many children who will fall through the cracks. And the system as it is now doesn't have the resources to reach those children.
Y bueno, también tenemos familias que a veces no cuentan con suficientes recursos, tanto emocionales, intelectuales, económicos, sociales, etcétera, que puedan tener ese background para los niños.
Another important point or factor to look at are the families themselves. So there are many families that lack certain resources that could help their children to thrive and learn to read: emotional resources, intellectual resources, economic resources, social resources. And so that's another barrier that's holding many children back.
Y obviamente las situaciones específicas de los alumnos, como son sus neurodivergencias, que pues eso va a atender como a una necesidad muy especial y como bien decía el anterior expositor, de acuerdo a ello pues va a ser el posible desarrollo de cada uno.
And then another factor is not so much structural as individual. So there are neurodivergencies among the children who go to school, children who have special needs, who can't learn in a traditional setting. And so that's another factor that needs to be taken into consideration if we want to raise literacy rates.
Por tal razón es que fundamos la Casa Tatic. La Casa Tatic se fundó para apoyar a familias con hijos con necesidades específicas, con neurodivergencia a nivel primaria. Eso fue como el objetivo desde el principio.
And so that's the background in which the Casa Tatic arose 10 years ago. It was founded as a project to help elementary school kids in the neighborhood where we live in Guadalajara, who have neurodivergencies, who have family problems, who for one reason or another were not thriving in school. And so the idea was to give them after school support so that they could learn to read and write, basically, and also help them with other subjects in school.
Así fue hasta hace 2 años. Hace 2 años la reinventamos y ahora ya tenemos muy poca población dentro de la colonia El Briceño en Zapopan, debido a que nos vamos a donde nos necesitan, a donde nos llaman.
Yeah, 2 years ago, the project took a turn, and TISU detected that there are other populations, even more vulnerable populations than the kids who live in our neighborhood in Zapopan. And so now the main focus of the project is to go where there are more vulnerable populations outside of our neighborhood, in other areas of the Guadalajara metropolitan area.
Y ahí nos dedicamos específicamente a enseñar a leer y escribir y matemáticas básicas a la población que sea necesaria. Por ejemplo, ahorita estamos yendo a una secundaria en Tlajomulco, donde hay 4 niños de primer grado de secundaria, están escuchando bien, y otros 4 de segundo grado de secundaria que no saben leer. Bueno, algunos ya están aprendiendo, pero apenas empezamos con ellos en enero.
And so now the focus of the project is almost exclusively on basic literacy and numeracy. In other words, teaching kids the very basics of reading, writing, and arithmetic, calculation, math. And again, the idea is to go wherever there is a need. And you may be surprised to hear this, but one of the settings where they're working now is a junior high school, where they've found kids in both the first and the second year of junior high school who don't know how to read and write. How they got that far in schooling is another question. But so they're working directly with those kids. They only started with them in January, but they're starting to make progress. They're starting really to know how to decipher a text, which is something they didn't know before.
También estamos muy involucradas con el DIF, los DIF, principalmente DIF Tlajomulco, pero también DIF Guadalajara, donde pues nos han estado llamando para que trabajemos con sus niños, y pues hacemos como el trabajo directo con los alumnos, pero también capacitamos al personal con la esperanza de que cuando nosotros nos retiremos de allí, pues eso quede para que se siga trabajando.
The Casa Tatic has also been coordinating with the DIFs, which are kind of the municipal social service agencies, part of the municipal government that provides social services. And so specifically with the DIF in Tlajomulco and the DIF in Guadalajara, working directly with the kids who are in those systems, teaching them how to read and write, but they've also made an effort to train other personnel, so that when the Casa Tatic leaves that particular setting, there will be people left behind who can continue the work, continue with their methods.
Bueno, cuando yo era joven quería cambiar el mundo, después me di cuenta que eso era muy difícil, pero como hace ratito lo dijo James, decidí pues cambiar personas y luego que esas personas con la esperanza de que cambien su propia comunidad y a ver si también cambiamos un poco más.
Yeah, she mentions that when she was young, she set out to change the world, and then kind of ran into reality, found that that's not an easy thing to do, and so the particular front that she chose to focus on was working with young people, young individuals, giving them the tools that they need so they can thrive in the world, empower them with basic skills.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you for that presentation. We're going to move on now to talk a little bit more about literacy and the public school system here locally. And I would now like to invite up to the podium Maestra Lucy Mendoza. She is the Director of Education for the municipality of Chapala, and we are delighted to have her here. And if I could ask first our translators to come up and assist. Is that going to be Erika or Victor to come assist with translation? ¿Sí? ¿Puede venir aquí? Gracias.
Bueno, buenos días, muchas gracias por la invitación. Es un honor y un gusto estar aquí con ustedes.
She says she's really grateful to be here and really thankful for your presence.
Tenemos cifras del INEGI, estudios recientes del rezago educativo que hay en el municipio, específicamente en cada una de las delegaciones y de los barrios y comunidades, con las edades precisas: menores de edad, adolescentes y adultos mayores.
She's talking about the results of the INEGI test that tell us about the problems in the literacy of the students by age, from children, youth, and adults.
Con base en estas cifras, vamos a activar el INEJAD. Es un instituto estatal para la educación de las personas, jóvenes y adultos que por situación económica, pobreza, etcétera, no pudieron acceder a la educación formal y ofrecen primaria y secundaria.
She's talking about starting INEHAD, a program, an institute to help children, youth, and adults to get to the education that by any means they couldn't get when it was their time.
Hace aproximadamente 2 o 3 semanas también hablamos con el director del COBAEG, Colegio de Bachilleres del Estado de Jalisco, para aperturar o abrir también aquí tener la preparatoria abierta, un centro que nos da opciones también para esa formación, y haríamos la propuesta primaria, secundaria y preparatoria abierta.
Recently, she talked with the director of COBAEG to open a new center here in the Ribera, where they could offer basic and middle education.
Bien, en esta ocasión hay un diagnóstico importante. La tecnología nos ayuda, nos beneficia, pero no se está haciendo un uso adecuado. Específicamente, bueno, creo que ni los adultos, pero más en los estudiantes. Entonces, vamos a implementar un programa de lectura que nos va a ayudar precisamente a volver a regresar a esos principios básicos de los programas de educación que nos desarrollan talentos y habilidades, concentración, creatividad, comprensión lectora. Todo eso se ha perdido por el manejo inadecuado de las redes. Ay, perdón, maestro.
Now she's talking about a new project, a new initiative that it's trying to get the children closer to reading, to the actual reading of a book, of a paper, not just a screen on the cell phone. She's just talking about the problem that most of the kids right now are all the time on their cell phones or in social networks. And she's talking about a new program that is trying to get them closer to the reading.
Y para este proyecto lo estamos organizando en coordinación con la UDG e invitamos al maestro Tonatiu Tello, que es el coordinador del programa Letras para Volar y que forma parte de un comité. Y es nuestro invitado especial, con él vamos a trabajar este programa de lectura que es muy ambicioso. Y bueno, lo dejo con él para que les informe lo que vamos a hacer.
Right now she's introducing me. I'm Tonatiu Tello. I'm the one that is bringing this program here to the Riviera. I come from a reading program called Letters to Fly, and each one of you in your seat had a little gacetita. It's this one, it's a publication that we made once a month, and it's spread completely free to the children. It goes to schools, libraries, cultural centers, and spaces where children and youth come to study or to get cultural or art classes. And effectively, one of the principal objectives of this program is to get the youth principally closer to the reading. We work actually on Guadalajara and some places of Jalisco, but right now we're trying to reach the Riviera of Chapala to make the children closer to the reading, like in paper. It's not just a paper, it comes with a lot of activities where the kids play, they create, explore, read in a really playful and friendly way, not just like a matter of obligation. It's really more like a game for them. Each one of the gacetitas, it's made by the effort of many people, students and artists from the University of Guadalajara come together and join their efforts to make each one of these pages. By the end, there's a committee that checks everything and gives their approval. This committee is made with academics, teachers, and professional writers. Writers like winners of national prizes, international prizes. They give us their time to read and approve this text. But not just that. In the committee, we have also kids. We take the decision with the kids. The kids come together with all this group of people, the kids and the parents, and they check everything that is going to be published. So they say, I think this one could be amazing to read for us. So it's really a work with the kids and professional writers, poets, novelists. So the main objective of this project is to get the children closer to the reading. Just like a regular paper, a newspaper, it has sections with information about travels, about countries, about culture, about science. But in each one of these sections, the kids play, the kids learn, and the kids play with the information. And by the end, there's an interactive section where they can play or directly write in the paper, in the sheet of paper, so they lose the fear of a book like a museum object. They see it like something more close to them, where they can really feel it and make it theirs.
Pues me gustaría agregar que el maestro Tonatiu trabaja en coordinación con la doctora Patricia Chávez, que es coordinadora ejecutiva del Chapala, del centro universitario que tenemos aquí en Chapala, y pues está previsto que tengamos ya una ciudad universitaria con más carreras.
That's right. One of the director of the Letters to Fly program, it's Patricia Rosas Chavez. She's actually the executive coordinator of the Chapala. It's a center, a university center of the University of Guadalajara that it's has recently opened here at the Ribera, and it's trying to make all the area like a university city. This means that each year the objective is to increase the amount of careers that offers the University of Guadalajara right here in Chapala.
Muy bien. Bueno, pues vamos a trabajar en coordinación con el maestro. Estamos muy contentos de poder hacer este enlace y esto va dirigido a Ajijic, San Antonio, a San Nicolás, Santa Cruz, todo el municipio. Poco a poco vamos a ir avanzando en este bello proyecto. Bueno, nada más quiero mencionar dos cosas. Se revisaron todas las escuelas, bueno, se están revisando las escuelas del municipio para que estén seguras. Y una de las escuelas de aquí de Ajijic, se reubicaron los niños y se va a construir porque era una escuela en riesgo. Entonces estamos revisando también las instalaciones para que tengan escuelas seguras.
Okay. This program it's just starting. The Gacetita it's right now in a beta phase. We're going to begin on April, right in the celebration of the Kids Day. It's going to begin this program. Another of the topics is the security of schools and children. So Maestra Lucy and her team made an effort to check every installation, and they found a school here, right here in Ajijic, that had structural problems. So every student had to be relocated to a safer place, and this school it's going to be rebuilt, so they can ensure the security of every kid.
Y por último, la invitación, maestro, a su
And by last time, by the end, we want to give you an invitation next Saturday, 5 of April, April 5. It's going to be a parade inspired by books. It's another program that we from Letters to Fly made each year, and this year it's going to be the participation about 20 to 30 vehicles completely dressed and decorated like books, inspired in each book, and each vehicle comes with about 20 to 100 people dressed also like the characters of the book, and these cars go from all the center of Guadalajara, right from Cathedral. They begin, they make a circuit, and they turn back to Cathedral. So if you have a trip to Guadalajara, or you want to make a trip to Guadalajara next Saturday, you are invited.
Voy a permitirme presentar, tenemos aquí a una persona muy importante en el ámbito de la danza, a la doctora Patricia Elizabeth Torres, antropóloga, presidente del Consejo Internacional de la Danza, con sede en la UNESCO en París, que nos quiere hacer una amable y atenta invitación. Bienvenida, doctora.
Thank you. I want to know that you, Open Circle, are registered in UNESCO as one of the best promoters in Mexico of education, culture, and science. And it is thanks to the anniversary that you are celebrating to Neill James in recognition of her really wonderful job for education and culture that we are holding in Ixtlahuacán de los Membrillos next May, from May 21 to 25th, the International Dance Research Congress, who expands the capabilities of dancers not only to be involved in performances in the theater, but also in medical, pedagogical, therapeutical, prevention, to help the society to use movement as cognition, to use movement as rehabilitation, and you will have the opportunity to attend 4 days of very interesting dance workshops. It not will be dance workshop, it will be like conscious use of your body. It doesn't matter how old are you, but you have heard about the Feldenkrais therapy, you have heard about this importance of knowing how to use your body in old age. So we really hope you have all the information here, and we have Blanquita and Ricardo who are selling tickets. We will give you all the opportunity. You will be our guests of honor, thanks to the presence of Neill James in this important field of education, culture, and science. Thank you very much. And Greg and I will be offering you a lecture on May 11th about Mexican culture. We hope to see you on May 11th, and we will have a very interesting conference that will help you to come to our Congress. Please help us, please support us, because unfortunately we have been facing a boycott by the political parties, that are against getting all this free education and all these free opportunities for all the people to be informed how to become a better person through education.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you. So that program will be happening on May 11th here at Open Circle, and we are thrilled to have you come back and speak with us once again. We're going to turn our attention now to a much sharper focus on the Lake Chapala Society. I also want to mention we have published and reprinted some articles here about literacy in Mexico, literacy in Jalisco, education reforms that are coming in Jalisco, and I encourage you to come up and glance at these when we're done today. Our focus now is going to turn back to the benefactress of the Lake Chapala Society, Neill James, who arrived here, let's remember, at age 48 on crutches after 2 accidents with Mexican volcanoes. That's a fascinating story described in her book, Dust on My Heart. By the way, Neill James' remains are here on the property. If you haven't noticed them, in the back corner here, where this lovely mantle is hanging of a mural that was painted by the legacy artist, are the remains of Neill James, who passed away on this property just months before her 100th birthday. The focus right now, though, we're going to turn to the LCS programs that are celebrating the legacy of Neill James. And it's just remarkable, not only the impact this woman had, but that 70 years later, these programs are still at the center of what LCS is doing to improve our connections with the Mexican community, and quite honestly, do our best in small ways to raise living standards here at Lakeside. So I'd like to invite up to the podium now the Director of Education for the Lake Chapala Society, Victor Camarena, who is going to talk about this trio of programs that you may not know about, but are making a huge impact, and we hope to strengthen even further in 2025 as part of the celebration. Victor?
Buenos días. Good morning. Great to see my family Mexicana here. Bienvenidos a los mexicanos. Great to have you here today. Well, today I'm very happy to be here in front of you talking about the beautiful work that we do at LCS. Our mission is to address literacy and foster a culture of lifelong learning here at the Lakeside through impactful programs that serve both children and adults in our community. At the heart of our efforts lies a deep commitment of enriching the lives of children. Programs such as the Children Art Program spark creativity and self-expressions. In this program, young minds explore their artistic talents in a safe environment, laying the foundation for a lifelong appreciation of the arts. Our Children Art Programs started in 1954 by an amazing lady that you have heard today, Neill James, and meets every Saturday, rain or shine. We're here every Saturday. And by the way, we're always looking for volunteers, so if you want to be a volunteer of this wonderful program, you're more than welcome to join us. And we are equally proud of our youth photography program. This is a new program who teaches technical skills and empowers young individuals to see the world through different lenses. This program inspires confidence, a new perspective, and unlocking potential in ways that extend beyond the classroom. There's another program that we're very proud. It's Madlar Pottery Program for Kids. This offers a hands-on experience that develops fine motor skills, patience, and creativity. It's wonderful to see the kids here playing with mud and creating wonderful pieces of art. A particular important program is ESL, English as a Second Language, for both children and adults. These classes help open doors to greater opportunities in education and the future careers, preparing our young children and adults to better opportunities in life, especially living here in the Lakeside. Our dedication to literacy extends beyond art and language. Through our student aid program, LCS supports youth in achieving their dreams of higher education. This program helps local students to go to university, providing not just financial assistance, but also hope for a brighter future. Most of the students who are participating in the program are the first one in their family to ever attend a university, which is really, really amazing. This program started in 1994, and right now we have 37 students in this program, and we have all kinds of careers, from medicine, veterinary, engineering, all kinds of professions. The call for application is open twice a year, in June and October. So if you know anyone who wants to go to university and has some financial issues, please let them know about this opportunity. And then we have the Wilkes Education Center. This is located about 3 blocks from here. It's what we call, locals call la biblioteca, the library. This building houses Ajijic's only Spanish language library. And it offers a student a nice place to go, do the homework. We have some laptops that they can do research, and it's a safe space for them to practice. At Wilkes is where we have ESL, and this program ensures that language barriers do not stand in the way of progress. Looking ahead, we are hoping to have a summer remedial program. This happened in summer, and we will provide academic students with the most important skills. So through this initiative, and then you will hear about a testimony from a ESL teacher in a second. So through this initiative, the Lake Chapala Society is not just addressing literacy. We are creating a ripple effect of empowerment, opportunity, and transformation in the Lakeside community. We believe that education is a cornerstone of progress, and we're proud to be making a difference. One program, one student, and one family at a time. Thank you. Thank you for your support and for believing the power of education. Together, we're shaping a brighter future for our community. And it's our motto, people helping people. Gente ayudando gente. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much. And now we're going to hear a little bit more about the program that we offer by Erika. She's the educator coordinator. So Erika, come on board.
Hello everyone, good morning. Thank you for being here. I work at the education office with Victor, and together we form a team to handle all the educational programs that we offer here at LCS. So education is one of the most important aspects of a community, and I believe it has been a priority for many people here at Lakeside, as there are many educational programs and projects here. And to give a little bit more detail about what we do at the education office. We, like I said, participate in all the education-related programs, one of the most important being the student aid program. Through LCS, many students have been supported to complete their university education in the field of their choice. Most public schools in Mexico are not expensive, but the cost of transportation, food, living in another city if the university is not local, books, materials, and school supplies can really impact the ability of a family to send their child or children to school. That is why the student aid program is so beneficial. They can allocate the scholarship as they need it, and it does not stop them from also receiving scholarships at other institutions. We want our enrolled students to be able to access all the tools that they can to complete their education. Our minimum grade to be able to get the student aid and remain in the program is 85 points average in grades, but most of the students currently enrolled are way above that, with averages of 95 to 100% every semester. I think this really speaks to the students' motivation and desire to become professionals in their field, to receive that graduation title, and to start working in their field, contributing to our society and our country. This is really how we build the future, by sowing seeds and seeing them through the growth process. Also, LCS has reaped the seeds that they sow. Isa, who is in the IT department, was also part of our student aid program. Domitsu and Vanessa, who up until recently used to work here at LCS, were also benefited by the student aid program. So we're also getting back everything that we offer to our community. But education for young people is not the only focus of our office. We also offer a wide range of classes and courses for our members and visitors. There is really no age for learning, and we learn throughout all our lives. And to continue learning is very important in the senior community also. Continued learning can help people maintain their adaptability, enhance self-esteem and confidence, is mentally stimulating for a better cognitive health, and helps our brain to make new neural connections that could be deterrent to memory loss and other forms of cognitive decline. Also, the Children Art Program is one of our best programs here at LCS. I know Rosario Lopez Garcia, who is the manager, really wanted to be here today but couldn't. But on her behalf, I want to give a little bit of details about this program. So, in the last TED Talk that was hosted here in Ajijic, I'm sure many of you heard about it or even went, there was a very impactful presentation in the second half where it was a presentation about making art profitable. And the presentator said something very interesting that really stuck with me, is that most of the schools have limited resources for the subjects that they already teach, like math and literature and all that. And sometimes art isn't focused on enough in the school. So LCS really offers a place for the kids to come experiment in a safe space, and if they decide that they want to follow this path into an artistic career, they can really do it. We also integrate literacy into the children's art program. Recently, Teo Teos, which is an animal rescue association in Oaxaca, sent over coloring books that had information on how to care for your pets. And in class, they read them together, colored them together, so we're also integrating this aspect into the artistic side of LCS. So thank you all for being here today. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Erika. I believe we have a couple of teachers here. Jeff, where are you? If you want to come up for a minute and give just a brief testimonial about the English as a Second Language program, and just briefly your experiences of working with kids on improving their English fluency.
Buenos dias. I'm Jeff.
I'm Diane.
Diane. We are teachers at the Wilkes Library. We participate in the English as a Second Language program. We've been doing it for 3 years, and my understanding it's been around for almost 30 years. The Wilkes house was donated for this purpose, and about 30 years ago, it contains a library, free library available for Spanish language books, and that is used quite a bit, but the primary program is English as a Second Language. The program consists of over 250 students each term. That's all year, fall, spring, and summer. I guess winter wasn't included in that. There is a break during the holidays. But it's a great program. It operates 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. I want to give homage a bit to some of the staff members the current administrator, Olga Vasquez, Inez Dayer, who recently retired after being administrator for a long, long time, and Maria Huerta, who's been kind of the Jane of all trades. She's the assistant administrator, she registers students, she is a housekeeper, she's a gardener, she repairs the building, which is in desperate need of repair, by the way.
And she's a translator.
And she's a translator, because she helps us with our Spanish, and she helps our students with their English. Diane and I have taught for 3 years. We started with basic level English, level 1, then we and our students advanced to level 1A, and we are currently in level 2. We have found it extremely educational to us, because not only does the interaction help us with our Spanish, but also get to know local Mexicans, their families, where they live, their situations. We've had our students have ranged from 14 years old in secondary school to people in their mid-60s. So it's a nice range of people and their ideas, where they come from. While many are local in the Chapala area, we've had students from Ocotepec, as well as Mazamitla, who travel on buses back and forth. So it's really been a delightful experience. So Diane and I, we teach 2 days a week, an hour and a half each session. The first half hour is basically conversation, allowing them to speak English to each other. Listen, ask questions, find out what's going on. The second half hour, we go over homework, where we have assigned exercises in the workbooks, and the last half hour, probably more reading stories and work on pronunciation. Overall, we find the students seem excited about it. They've developed their own social groups on WhatsApp. They have developed their own self-support groups, helping each other with the language interpretations and so on. Just a quick point about our teachers. There are over 30 teacher volunteers, and mostly expats coming from the United States, Canada. There's a gentleman originally from Brazil. I know there are a couple European folks. We even have folks from Texas. But
You're kidding.
well, you can tell by y'all. But aside from that, like I said, it's a great program. We enjoy it, and we'd invite all of you to come visit. You're more than welcome to sit in on the session. Thank you.
All right, folks, thank you for that insight. And you've heard about numerous volunteer opportunities at Lake Chapala Society, but we'd like to just wrap up today by turning to 3 organizations, and I know there are probably others in the audience as well that are doing some very good work around literacy and scholarship. But I'd like to ask to come up to the stage right now Ginger Blaylock, representing a program called SAFE, Francisco Nava, representing a program called Poco a Poco, and we also have here representing a program called Salto, which, by the way, happens here at the LCS campus on Saturday morning. So I'd like to invite up Tonia Mendoza also. So if the 3 of you could come up, they're going to give just short testimonials about the work they're doing in the community around scholarships and building literacy. So, Ginger, you want to go first?
Good morning. Wow. Every single speaker has given us a kernel of hope for improved learning results among students here at Lakeside, haven't they? I mean, there's lots of wonderful things beginning or have been going on that we may not have known about. wonderful, wonderful activities. Hopefully all of us can get involved in making them even better. Why are scholarships so important? Most of you may know that public school is not free, and that's true for even the families with the least resources available. They must pay, each student, a registration fee. They pay their classroom quota, which covers the kids' share of toilet paper, drinking water, soap, chalk. The government tends to pay for just the building, the desk, and the teacher's salary. And everything else has to be filled in. At the primary level and secondary levels, families come together to do the maintenance at the school. So it's a huge burden, and many of our families who earn the least, who have the least, can afford to send one kid at a time, if that. So scholarships are huge. If the families, legally they are allowed to go to school, but if they don't, there's a lot of shame that comes along with being a kid whose family did not pay the required fees. Books are not common, as we've heard, in homes where there are limited resources. So that's a huge need and reason for lack of literacy. Our scholarships help students have hope. They help them move along the path. Our donors all commit to supporting each student they support all the way through until they graduate, or in a few cases drop out of school, or receive the government scholarship at the high school level. Those students who remain in our program have a lot more disposition to go on to higher ed. And higher ed makes all the difference in the world in a family's ability to be self-sufficient, as some of these findings from Brazil here talk about. I hope you guys read all of these because they really resonate, some of the findings from these research papers. So what I'd like to say is, our program, among others that provide scholarships for students, are absolutely critical. I have brochures in English and Spanish. I have application forms here if you'd like one. You are welcome to share them with any family in need, and we will see what we can do to help them. In the past, our waiting lists have lasted 1.5 years or 2 years, but eventually we get them funded for the rest of their school career. I want to mention one more piece about Lakeside literacy, and that is teacher training. I've had the opportunity over our years here to work with the Rural Normal Escuela in Ajijic. And in the years past, groups of expat volunteers have helped them practice their English, because those teachers have to pass an English exam in order to be able to teach English in the public schools. So consider that connection as another way to get involved. I'll pass it on to Francisco.
Thank you, Jim. Buenos dias, good day everybody. Thank you for inviting me to speak today. I'm here as part of a founding member of an organization called Poco a Poco San Pedro Itzican. And Poco a Poco is that way, about an hour and a half, depending on traffic. It's east of Mezcala, and its main town is San Pedro Itzican, but it also trails down 12 villages going east, and all those villages make up San Pedro Itzican. I started working there in 2016, so we're in our 9th year now. It's an all-volunteer organization. We are an AC, or not-for-profit organization. And we started going out there because we heard it was, those villages were part of the most needy villages here in the area on Lakeside. And they were also experiencing unusually high rates of renal failure. Unfortunately now, San Pedro Itzican and the villages are #1 in the world for renal failure. So part of the reason why we went was to try to figure out why. Traditionally, they were known as the forgotten villages because the government didn't have a presence, and people were dying unusually high rates. When we got there, it was primarily adults, older people who were being affected and dying from this. And now, 20 years later, after they started bringing in water from the sierras, from thermal hot springs,
that water we found is laden with heavy metals and things that are not healthy for the people of the town. So now we're seeing most of the people who are sick and dying are young people because they've grown up with this water. Aside from the water, there's also extreme poverty, extreme malnutrition, lack of education, and we're finding genetic markers in certain families that have an unusually high rate of renal failure. So we're able to identify those families and through education teach the people how they can best protect themselves from these factors. So as Greg told you, our mission is to help the people of San Pedro Itzican and the surrounding villages to improve their lives and the lives of future generations. So it's kind of a heavy burden that we've taken on. Our programs include education, nutrition, employment and training, health, and collaboration with other nonprofits and individuals. This year we've decided to focus on education and nutrition, and we found that with increased nutrition, the children have better attention spans, better focus, can interact better with their peers and with their adults in the community. And so this is all leading to an improvement of quality of life, which we've seen happen. We started out 4 people just taking donations. And then eventually we started asking the people of the town, what is it that you need? And the first meeting with the town, our first town meeting, they said we want better water, better nutrition, we want industry or jobs, because most of the adults have to leave the towns to go work at the berry farms in Guadalajara, wherever they're here, and Ajijic, wherever there's opportunity. And they wanted to stay with their families. When we first got there, it seemed like a town of urchins. Children were running in the streets, no supervision, adult supervision. And so we started to think about community programs. And we have been so fortunate because these are all indigenous communities. And so, aside from our getting used to cultural differences, they had to get used to our cultural differences and our presence. And that was a steep learning curve on both sides, for us and for them. We have now been allowed in to work, to help. And this year, our director of programs, her name is Anita Torres Guerrero. I call her Santa Anita because she really is a saint, Saint Anita. She came 20 years ago to Nayarit, to the area, and fell in love with the people. And she decided to stay. And so she's been working all that time to help improve the lives of these people. And we were fortunate enough to connect with her through a youth program called the Brigada Estatal, and they were funded by the firefighters of Jalisco. And so we started working with the youth. That turned into community programs, and now we have a collaboration with over 30 nonprofits in the area who are helping us do our own work there. At first it was a slow growth, but now it's grown exponentially. And we're overwhelmed with the involvement now of people in the town. So education. This year we helped 30 families to enroll their children in schools who otherwise would not be able to enroll. We have special needs classes 2 times a week. A lot of the children and the adults there are special, and they don't necessarily fit into a normal public school system. So we offer attention and education. We have ESL classes, English Second Language. We provide daycare for the younger children. We provide tutoring in basic literacy skills, sustainability, ecology. My training is as a sustainable architect and a lover of gardening and plants. So this is a very special thing to see developed there in the area. We have agricultural training via Corazón de la Tierra, who's another nonprofit who works with us, and they teach the people there organic gardening, natural agriculture, how to make natural fertilizers, how to do natural pest control, and they're integral in people being able to grow their own food. These towns forgot how to grow food. They grow one crop primarily, which is chayote, and in the rainy season they grow corn and squash. But other than that, they didn't have any food growing there, so everything had to be brought in, and it's expensive. And so we're working on all those areas. We have jewelry. We started a jewelry class with a volunteer from here, and now that jewelry effort is exporting to the United States via a company called Bars Industries. And they sell in their stores, distribute, and they also sell online. So these people now have careers and ability to support their own families. So that's it in a nutshell. The things that we've noticed about education in the town is that these children who are now being introduced back into the school system come with special challenges. They may not have parents who went to school. They may be illiterate. They may not have the culture of going to school. And we find that even though we place them in schools or in high schools or in universities, we have all those levels of education going on. If they are not given special mentoring or tutoring, a lot of them will fall by the wayside. So that's what we've learned recently to focus on for the effectiveness of our educational efforts. So I thank you very much for having me, and I'll be available for questions after this. Thank you.
Everybody here speaks English, so I prefer to do a translator. Maybe Erica, could you help me, please? Buenos días, como todos lo han estado diciendo, todavía son días. Antes de iniciar, quiero agradecer a Víctor, a Greg, a Erika, porque ellos son los culpables de que yo esté ahorita aquí.
So he wants to thank the LCS team, Greg, Victor, and me, because we are the ones guilty for him being here today.
Me llamo Antonio Mendoza y junto con Margarita Vanderhook somos quienes hemos implementado el programa de salto aquí en la Ribera y especialmente los últimos 2 años aquí en Lake Chapala Society.
His name is Antonio Mendoza, and with Margarita, they have been implementing Salto program for the last 2 years here in LCS.
Y como les voy a hablar del programa Salto, me gustaría preguntar, ¿quién de ustedes ha escuchado hablar sobre Salto?
So before he starts talking about Salto, he would like to ask who here has heard about this program Salto?
Me da gusto saber que son muchos los que no han escuchado sobre Salto, porque hoy serán más personas las que conozcan el programa.
So he's glad to see that there are not many people who know about it, because now we are going to have more people who do know about this program and what they do.
Bien, ¿qué hacemos en Salto? Somos un programa que va dirigido a jóvenes.
So Salto is a program directed at young people.
Y se sostiene por medio de 3 pilares. Estos pilares son habilidades para la vida, orientación vocacional y mentoría.
So the program consists of 3 pillars: life ability,
Orientación vocacional.
vocational orienting, and mentorship.
Habilidades para la vida se muestran 3 tipos, los cuales los estableció la Organización Mundial de la Salud, no los inventamos nosotros.
So So for life skills, there are 3 important aspects, and these are defined by an organization, not by Salto themselves.
Sí, esos 3 habilidades para la vida son cognitivas, habilidades emocionales y habilidades sociales.
So they teach cognitive abilities, emotional abilities, and social abilities.
Sobre la orientación vocacional manejamos 2 puntos. Uno de ellos es aplicar cuestionarios, pruebas o exámenes para que los jóvenes conozcan mejor a qué se quieren dedicar o qué querrían hacer en su vida.
So for vocational orientation, they apply tests, questionnaires, quiz to the students so they can find out what they really want to do with their lives, what they're good at.
Y lo otro que hacemos es organizamos una feria de profesiones y oficios para que los jóvenes puedan interactuar con aquellas personas que ya se dedican a lo que ellos han elegido en base a la orientación vocacional.
And another part of this mentoring is creating a job fair where the students can hear from people who work in these fields and get to know what their job is like, what it entails.
En la mentoría, los jóvenes van acompañados durante todo el programa por medio de unos adultos que los van ayudando a tomar las decisiones y facilitándoles sus tareas.
So part of the mentorship is having adults who are accompanying the students throughout the whole program so they can help them make decisions and really guide them through the process.
También durante el programa hacen un plan de acción donde los jóvenes eligen unos objetivos o metas que les gustaría alcanzar y los mentores los van acompañando para que esto sea posible.
The students also make a plan of action where they can define certain goals or objectives that they want to reach during their life, and the mentor helps them through these goals.
Ahora, ¿qué jóvenes son los que pueden formar parte del programa Salto? Para ello, tienen que ser jóvenes entre los 16 y los 20 años, que tengan una alta motivación y compromiso, que además estén interesados en la superación personal y que quieran contribuir a la comunidad.
So the people that they accept into this program is young people from 16 to 20 years old that have a high motivation, that they have a goal that they want to achieve, that they are interested in self-betterment and interested in contributing to the community.
Esto es sobre los jóvenes. Y para poder ser mentor, ¿qué se necesita? Para ser mentor hay que ser mayor de edad, tener un compromiso con la comunidad.
So these were for young people integrated into the program. So for mentors to be able to participate, they need to be of age, older than 18, and they need to be interested in contributing to the community.
Que sean responsables, que tengan deseos de compartir sus talentos, experiencia y conocimiento con los jóvenes. Además, que sean empáticos y que tengan buenas herramientas de comunicación y sobre todo, que hablen español.
So the mentors also need to have a responsibility, be able to share their knowledge and their experience with the students. Oh, and they need to be empathetic also with the students and be able to speak Spanish.
Muy bien. Todo esto requiere de recursos y requiere de apoyo. Y habrá personas que dicen, ¿cómo puedo ayudar en este tipo de proyectos? Así que,
So this program also needs support and it needs funding. So if you're wondering how you can participate,
para eso hay 2 puntos. Uno, siendo mentor.
okay, so number 1 would be becoming a mentor.
El otro, siendo patrocinador.
And the second one, to be a sponsor.
Para ser patrocinador hay principalmente 2 maneras.
To be a sponsor, there are 2 different options.
La primera es haciendo donativos. Los donativos económicos, ¿en qué se utilizan? Se utilizan para el transporte, se utilizan para los exámenes que tienen un costo, los exámenes vocacionales, y también para las excursiones que en ocasiones les damos como premio en la graduación.
So to make a donation is a way to sponsor, and the money that comes in from the donations is used for transportation of the students, to take the test, the vocational test, because they do have a cost, and to take them on trips as a reward in their completion of this course.
La otra es por medio de especie, lo cual puede ser material como lápices, cuadernos, papel, cartulinas, marcadores, colores, etc. Y también con el refrigerio, porque nosotros les damos de comer a los jóvenes todos los sábados. Entonces es un refrigerio.
So another way that you can donate is through donating materials, school supplies like pens, pencils, big sheets of paper, anything that you can think of, and also food, because they feed all the students every Saturday after they have the class.
Esto es el programa Salto, es sin fines de lucro, y para poder contactarnos, pues estoy yo y también está Margarita Vanderhook, que probablemente conocen, y si hay interés tenemos los números de teléfono y correos electrónicos.
So this was Salto. It is a non-profit, and the ways that you can communicate with them for either donations or to participate is through Antonio or through Margarita. They also have phone numbers and emails where you can contact them through.
Por su atención, muchísimas gracias.
Thank you.